Hello, I welcome everyone who has joined us. Media Center Ukraine of Ukrinform is going on with its work. This is 231st day of the full-scale invasion of Russian aggressor to our land. These days were over-important and super complicated for lots of our regions of our country. And now we'll be speaking about the situation in Odesa region. We are in touch with Serhii Bratchuk, head of the Public Council under the Odesa Regional State Administration, spokesman of the head of Regional Military Administration. Serhii, hello. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the armed forces of Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Serhii, what is the current situation in Odesa during these days? What is taking place there? Well, of course, this situation is as tense as all over the country. The attempts of the enemy to attack us from the aircrafts of the strategic aviation with drones kamikaze. When we spoke about the air defense, which destroyed 4 drones kamikaze and several cruise missiles. And since the beginning of the day, we already had 4 air raid alerts. In the morning, it was rather long, and it is connected because the enemy's drones were being destroyed on the territory of neighboring region, Mykolaiv region. So we do understand that our air defense forces are working perfectly, and secondly, we are ready for any events connected with the terror tactics, and of course all of our functions are working and functioning how they should function during this war state or martial law. We are fully controlling the situation. As for the energy supply, water supply, everything is functioning and working. The city, the region is living, and all of the structures are performing the necessary functions which they need to. Today we are also speaking that we go on with the grain corridor. As of this morning, we can tell that yesterday 7 ships left all the 3 ports of Odessa, Pivdenny, Chornomorsk, and Odessa, in fact. And yesterday, those ships contained 177,000 tons of agrarian industrial products. One of the ships went to Tunisia, which had 30,000 tons of wheat. We are speaking about the African countries, Asian countries, and Europe, of course. And also we have more than 7 million tons of Ukrainian grains exported to the continents and countries which I mentioned above. 316 ships already left our ports and are working and delivering grains. As of today, we have several dozens of applications and requests because Ukraine managed to provide full security of our grain corridor. We stick to the guarantees and deals from Turkey and the United Nations, and Turkey and United Nations. And of course we can speak about the security component in the sea. As of now, the Black Sea Fleet has decreased. There are up to 7 enemy's caters and ships. 2 of them are missile carriers, and they have up to 16 missiles of operational tactical level of caliber type. We understand that the enemy, which is using these ships and caliber missiles to shell the territory of Ukraine, those ships came back to refill their ammunition. But the defense forces are performing all of their functions and achieving their goals. And also we can speak about the recovery of the objects affected by the shellings. We are speaking about the residential complex of Tiras in Odessa. We almost finalize all of the repairment and maintenance works, and those works will be fully done till the beginning of the heating season. This complex will be fully functioning. The same concerns the multi-storied building in Serhiivka, where we also have some of the works done. We are rather doing that quickly. Everything is done according to the schedule. This issue will be solved. This is how we are working. But there is one more point about the communal component. Yesterday in Primorsky part of Odessa, we had the planned repairment works of the electrical grids, and there was the official notification from the company which deals with energy supply, and it was used by the services of informational psychological special operations of the enemy to disseminate information as if there were incoming shellings in Odessa and Primorsky region part, which is the center of the city, as if it was destroyed. But I would say that those were planned repairment works. Everything is done, it is functioning, and it is properly working. We are ready to respond any crisis situations. The emergency brigades are ready 24/7. Serhii, going on with the topic of critical infrastructure, we understand that now lots of regions, after the massive shellings, are trying to save electrical energy and power. So there are some of the planned shutdowns taking place. Does Odesa region have any of those measures? Well, yes, really, everything is okay here, because first of all, there is the understanding from the population that it is needed today. People are consciously saving energy consumption, water consumption, and also we have the light masking as well. We decreased the lighting along the streets, also to decrease these power both in Odessa and power consumption, both in Odessa and the region. We comply with the rules. Odessa is living according to the rules of Ukraine. We are doing everything how it should be. Dear colleagues, are there any questions, please? Hello, Irina Mamchur, Ukrinform. Serhii, could you please tell, recently Ukraine, just several days ago, got from Germany one of the 4 missile air defense complexes, systems. So this promise was mentioned by the head of Bundeswehr in Odessa, if I'm not mistaken. So will it, in fact, impact the anti-missile defense systems in Odessa and the ports? And if yes, then how? Yes, thank you for the question. In fact, such questions are not to me, but for the military and political superiors. But to make a joke, in Odessa, we like some of the irises, I mean the candies. Well, of course, as of your question, several months ago, we said that to close the sky over Ukraine, we need those systems. We were speaking about those German air defense missile systems, or surface-to-air missile systems. Those were dreams then, but now we can see that those dreams are coming true. How this weaponry and armament will be used, this is the solution for the superiors. The sky will be closed, but I also would like to see about the delivery of the defensive weapons, not of the offensive. I would like that to be felt by the enemy. Their aircrafts and cruise missiles and drones kamikaze will be demolished by these weapons. Any other questions? Yes, please. Could you please tell, the State Border Service warned about possible problems because of the shellings in the checkpoints in the borders with the EU countries and Moldova. Could you please tell, how do you assess, can we expect for the activation of Russian occupational troops in Transnistria, how it is happening in our close to our northern borders in Belarus? Yes, thank you for the question. In fact, as of the so-called Transnistria, in fact, the temporarily occupied territory of the Republic of Moldova, we can say that there are some of the dreams of the Russian commandment to use those troops. So, of course, since February, we adopted the special regime to defend this part of the state border. The defense forces are accomplishing all of their tasks. Of course, we are following closely this situation, and we will respond and act when we see any provocations. But any of the scenarios, as if someone is attacking, we can hear about that once in 2 weeks or once a month at least, as well as the attacks on Odessa. Such scenarios appear all the time. We had at least 7 plans of that. But the Russian occupiers fail to provide necessary mobilization on the territory of the so-called Transnistria Republic, though there is some of the activity activity, the local residents are not that willing to join the troops of the occupiers because they can see and understand that Ukraine today is the guarantor of our security, and the armed forces of Ukraine guarantee this security. So they understand what can happen. As of now, we can say that the second front line from the so-called Transnistria will not take place. But if there are any provocations, we will provide the necessary repulsion. Please, one more question from the security to humanitarian issues. Yes, please. You told a bit about the preparations to the heating season. I wanted to ask you about the construction of the 3 modular campuses for the internally displaced people. What is the stage of these constructions works, and how do you plan to do that? When will the people be able to live there, to take this accommodation? Well, I can answer this question later. If there is such a necessity, I will get to know about this. Yes, there is such a design project. We have the plan, and as far as I know, everything is done according to the schedule. To speak about more details, I will be ready to answer this question later. I thank you, Serhii. I thank you that you've joined us. I'm reminding you we had Serhii Bratchuk, the spokesperson of the Regional Military Administration of Odesa region. Dear friends, we believe in our victory, we believe in our armed forces, and we're going on working together. Thank you. Stay with us.